Jill with Treecat here. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're seeing this video. It's December 7th, 2024. My goodness, where did the time go, right? I mean, didn't we just start fourth quarter and now it's almost coming to an end. I think we have a good, 3 weeks left of Q4. Time just flies when you're having fun in the world of e-commerce. Am I right? Hope everybody's sales are doing well. I know this is a busy time of year, super, super busy time of year. And, as an online seller, if you're like me, you're juggling more sales. You're still trying to source. You're still trying to ship. You're still trying to juggle all the stuff in your family life and personal life, because there's a lot of other stuff that happens in December, parties and buying gifts and family get-togethers and the end of the school year. And like for the next couple of weeks until those kids are out of school, it's kind of like a lot. It's a lot. And I don't know. I think that like I'm getting a little bit of Q4 fatigue. It's setting in. The Q4 fatigue is starting to set in for me. Maybe not for you, but for me it is. So I'm fighting myself. I'm getting a little testy. And I had a little bit of a wake-up call with one of my family members as a result, because I was ranting. I was complaining about e-commerce. And there's things we can complain about right now, I think. Like, well, I mean, I got a couple of scams. I got scammed twice in 1 week. And so I think that's what triggered me, because like as a seller, this is when as a buyer, I got scammed. But as a seller, it kind of triggers me when I get scammed, because I know that it's just bad business practice. It's a bad look for e-commerce sellers, right? Because we're all representing e-commerce, all of us as sellers. So I was really upset. I bought twice in 1 week. I got a rocks in a box, essentially rock in a box. This is the first time ever. So I ordered something and I opened the box and like there was just trash in it. And I was just like, come on, I don't know how this kind of stuff still happens in this day and age. The other thing that happened was I ordered an electronic item and then it didn't really work very well. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? Are these people? I think maybe what's happening is these people might be buying Amazon returns and just not checking them before they send them out. Or maybe they send them to a fulfillment center without really inspecting them properly. I don't know, but I got triggered. And it was unfortunate because my son was like, hey, let's have some quality time together. And, like anytime you have a teenager that wants to spend quality time with you, you're like, yes. And you drop everything, right? It's not like when they were little and they wanted to spend all their time with you. When they're teenagers, they don't care about you. So when my son was like, let's go hang out and go get some Mexican food, I was like, yes. So we're having this great experience. And then I had a wake-up call. But before we get into this story time, I got to take care of some business. So we have a new agent, and I don't know if you can see my screen, but we now have the new Windows agent as well as the new Mac agent. So I want to encourage you to download those. The new agent are version 10. So the previous agent, version 9. Now we have version 10. And it's actually really simple when you upgrade these. Both of these videos are on our YouTube, Treecat.io, at Treecat.io. And the videos are right there. The Windows one looks like this and the Mac one looks like this. And basically all it is me telling you to go to your, you go to your Windows and you type in Treecat and your agent will pop up. And there will be a button that says, do you want to upgrade? And you say yes. And then it takes like 4 or 5 seconds for it to download. And then that's it. And then you just check the agent to make sure that the new version is 10. That's it. So there you go. that's the little thing I wanted to share with you on that. But getting back to my story where I had my wake-up call, and maybe this will help you if you're also feeling like complaining a lot lately about just like I don't know. I've been experiencing not only have I been experiencing a lot of scams lately, but just more returns. People are returning more. What else? A lot of lowball offers, and people just being nasty and just being like, well, like feedback extortion, stuff like that. That's just, I don't have time for it. And it just triggers me, especially when it's the Q4 stress, and I just don't need it. So I'm at dinner and lunch with my son, and I'm talking about all these e-commerce things. And, I didn't even realize how long I was going on. Sometimes I start ranting about e-commerce, and yeah, maybe 5 minutes goes by. I don't even realize it. I kind of lose track of all space and time sometimes. I guess it's not a good look. I guess if you're not in the world of e-commerce, you don't really want to hear about it. And my son was like, listen, you're getting high off the rant and you need to stop. You're not Larry David. This is not Curb Your Enthusiasm. And all you're doing is airing your grievance during the time that we're supposed to be hanging out. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like, he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. So that was a little light bulb moment. Little chance to remember that, like, not everybody wants to hear about your e-commerce problems. But yeah, I probably shouldn't waste my time and energy, right, on that, because like this is just part of the job, really, So, just block people, right? People, like, honestly, people start trying to like get into like multiple conversations about pricing and haggling, and it's just like, I do have to go back to just like 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Like, the third question that they send to me, it's just like, this is a red flag. Like, when you start seeing red flags, just block people, honestly. Well, and the main thing that I think that I'm going to start doing is I bought this rant journal. So I think it's important to name. I think it's okay to get annoyed and get triggered with all the scams and stuff that we deal with as e-commerce sellers. It's okay to get triggered by it, right? You just have to learn how to manage it. So that's why I got this little journal. I'm going to start naming it, and then I'm going to leave it on the shelf. I'm going to leave it on the shelf and do something about it, right? Like, block. I don't need to sell to someone who's just going to be a total jerk. I don't, right? No shoes, no shirt, no service, right? So that's where I'm at with that. It was real awakenings. Just sometimes you need that reminder. You need like that reminder, self-realization moment. And I had it. So if you're feeling a little ranty these days, I can relate. And I think that there are like ways to mitigate. So, like I said, the first thing I'm doing is I'm journaling. The second thing I'm doing is, when I'm noticing red flags, I'm just blocking. That's okay, because honestly, the likelihood that this type of buyer returns, gives bad feedback, tries to scam me is much higher, right? We all know those red flags. So let's just not let it trigger us. Okay. So what else? Yeah, like we're journaling it. We're moving on. What else are we doing? We're not getting high off the rant anymore. There's other stuff to get high off of. Life. There's a lot of good things out that can inspire you right now. Some of them are e-commerce truths. And so let's talk a little bit about e-commerce truths, and let's talk a little bit about Treecat truths as well. Well, I think it's, if you want to get into statistics here, let's look at Statista, and that's an interesting website. So I wanted to get myself a little bit pumped up about e-commerce because I was feeling like triggered. And, yeah, maybe it's more competitive now, but the trend, as you can see in this little infographic, the trend is still up and to the right. And so from 2019, we've seen just growth, right? Growth up and to the right. And you can go and look at this article on statista.com and their forecast. They did a forecast of the e-commerce industry in the US. And so they started it in 2019, and they're ending it in 2020. 29. And so they are estimating it will just continue to grow, right? It's not on a downward trajectory, it's on an upward trajectory. So that's positive. That's very positive. And I think that also you can look up Forrester. Forrester, they're like an analyst firm, and they do, they analyze the e-commerce market, and they're saying in this article right here that e-commerce sales will reach 6.8 trillion by 2028. So they're just backing up that fact. So that's positive, right? That's something that we can be excited about because the opportunities are there. Yes, the competition is higher. Yes, it's true. And there's constant learning that needs to continue to take place as an e-commerce seller. That's true. But I'm going to choose to shift my mindset and think more about, some of the Treecat truths that get me excited every day about this industry. And like, why waste my time or my energy on all the stuff that's annoying to us e-commerce sellers? So yeah, growth up and to the right. And honestly, like, this is also in terms of December has been usually my best month for sales, but also my best month for buying with liquidators. So I don't know if it's because it's the end of the year and they're looking at their numbers, but I've always had really great great buying opportunities with liquidation in December. So that's another really positive thing that I'm excited about. That gets me motivated, gets me pumped every day about e-commerce. What else? What other e-commerce truths? Well, I can talk to you about some Treecat truths because there's some really exciting stuff that we're learning with Treecat. So from our users. So there are some users there are people out there that are killing it. There are, just from our internal, statistics and all that. We're seeing people who are doing really well. And, what's fascinating is that there's really, one of the things that we're seeing is that there's really no correlation between the store size and how well they're doing, which is interesting because I used to think back in the day, you had to have a really big store in order to make consistent sales. And then you had to be listing every day to make consistent sales. But I mean, clearly the algorithms have changed. And now, like maybe in the last 5 years, eBay's really been prioritizing sales velocity, right? And so there are people who, they've found their niches that they can buy very cheaply in, and they can price correctly, and they're getting that churn. So people are doing this. People are doing this, and they're doing it successfully. So let's see. Yeah. And so, yes, it's more competitive. You have to find a niche probably at this point, and items have to be priced competitively enough to churn. That's just a truth, an e-commerce truth right now. And another e-commerce truth is that you do have to have a thick skin. You do have to have a thick skin in this industry because you are going to get a lot. I mean, just you do. You're going to get a lot of blow balls. You're going to get a lot of feedback or review extortion. You're going to get pushy buyers. You're going to deal with scams as a buyer and as a seller. So, you can go on Reddit. Reddit are flipping, and you can do your research about what are the scams that are out there and how do you mitigate, how do you remedy those. They exist, and hopefully you're not going to have to run into too many of them, because you do start to notice patterns, red flags, and then you start to just block those people. And so, yeah. And my philosophy is 1, 2, 3 strikes and you're out, and then you're blocked. So, and sometimes it's even less than that, to be honest with you. Let's see some other Treecat truths. Well, people are, we had a user actually that sent me some information about her sales. And I remember when she started, she was doing like maybe 26 to 30 sales a month. And she recently reached out and said that she had done 96 sales this last month. And I was like, wow, that's like tripled. She like tripled her sales after starting to use Treecat. So that really warmed my heart. That made me feel really, really positive that we're helping people get those, get more sales. And that is really inspiring to me. So that was positive. That made me feel good. We all need to feel good sometimes. We all need that pickup. Let's see. And I think some of the reasons she indicated were that because she was able to save up a lot of save time, and then she was able to list more. And she's using the Poshmark sharing, and she's reporting that she gets a lot of likes, and then she can make the offers. And so that's been she's seen a significant increase in her likes from the Poshmark sharing. And of course, that's free to Treecat users. So if you're cross-listing with Treecat, you can go in and set, so of course we have the inventory, we have sales, and we have settings. You can go into your Poshmark closet sharing and click all day follower share, all day nightly party share, and activate those. And then once you do that, they are activated forever. And you don't ever have to push a button. It just happens in the background. And then this is our V1. And so then when you start seeing likes, you can make offers. I do it on my phone. That will be automated in the future, in the near future, but I just make the offers on my phone. Significant amount of more likes than I personally used to get. Also with some of our users, they're seeing a lot more likes. So that's a set it and forget it tool. And I think it's really, helping. So happy about that. I think just in general, the more activity that happens. So one of the theories that one of my colleagues has is that just activity in general. So it might be counterintuitive, but let's say you just used to be on eBay, then you start cross-listing to Poshmark and Mercari, and you're actually seeing more sales on your eBay. Why is that? Because of just the general increase in activity. It's delisting, it's syncing, you're making offers, you have more time to maybe make offers on eBay or automate your delist relists. So it could be surprising that you might find that you get more sales on your initial store than you thought you were going to get by cross-listing. I mean, the concept is you're going to make more sales because you're listing on these other two, but because you're also increasing your automated things, you're also making more sales on that primary store. So activity helps sales, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. And then the other thing that I think is still a very positive thing that makes me feel good is our pricing. Our pay as you sell pricing. I think we are the only first and only cross-listing program, cross-listing automations, inventory management program where you pay only when you sell. So if you're tired of monthly subscriptions, then that's another thing that I could honestly spend 5 minutes ranting about is all the freaking subscriptions that, pardon my French, all the darn subscriptions that I have to buy for this and that. I'm so tired. I'm so fatigued with subscriptions. And that's why we didn't want to make this a subscription. There's no subscriptions. There's no limits. There's no, really no risk because you're only paying until you sell something that you've matched or cross-listed, right? So when one sells, the other two get pulled down. And once you do that and you're a cross-lister with Treecat, you can use all of our other things. You can use the free and unlimited guest accounts. So if you have like a virtual assistant, they can come in and do some work without knowing your password or your username for your eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. You can use our analytics for free. You can do Poshmark sharing 24/7 essentially for free. You can schedule delist relists to happen on a daily basis. Treecat will auto delist, sales detect and auto delist 24/7 for you without the push of a button. It even happens while you're asleep. So it's like it's all inclusive. And so I feel good about that. That makes me happy. And as always, the pricing right now is 1 to 30 sales a month. It's 50 cents per takedown, but all the other stuff is included. 30 to 100 sales per month, it's 35 cents, but all the other stuff is included. 100 to 140 sales per month, 25 cents per takedown, but all the other stuff is included. But if you're like really killing it and you have more than 140 sales per month, it's only a penny per takedown with all the other stuff included. So, you know, we tried to make it as minimal risk as possible. And so, yeah, so that makes me happy. No limits, no subscriptions, no risk, pay only when you sell. So I don't know. I think I've kind of changed my attitude. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit less ranty. I had my wake up call and I'm going to try to make the rest of Q4 the best it can possibly be. So I hope that you guys are taking time for yourself. You know, get yourself a rant journal if you need to. Don't burden your family and friends with your your Q4 stress or your stress about scams or whatever, and just enjoy the holiday season, right? And have a good one. And we'll see you next time. This is Michelle signing off, saying mahalo. Bye.